Well, hello friends. The vlog hasn't seen me in a while. It's a chilly morning around 7:30 in the morning here in Surrey, British Columbia, and we're starting off on a big journey today, this morning. We're taking this Tesla, this old Tesla Model 3, all the way to Toronto and Ottawa, Ontario, from British Columbia. This is a 4-5 day long journey, over 4,000 kilometers, and most typically done in gas cars. So naturally with this car we're gonna have to stop fairly often, every 380 kilometers or something, to charge. That's gonna add a bit of time and complexity to the driving, but I think it'll be pretty straightforward. Now, I like to think it's a little chilly here, but the truth is BC has us spoiled. It's like 1 degree plus Celsius, while it's gonna be minus 14 in the place we're gonna sleep tonight if all goes to plan. So anyway, let's set off and God be with us. So we're charged up to, where are we, 69%, decent bit. We're gonna stop at the supercharger in Burlington, Washington. So first we're gonna be driving to Seattle, which for anyone living near the US border in Canada, British Columbia, it's an all too familiar route. We've all done it a billion times. So the first part is very familiar. And then uncharted territory. Never been to any of these states that I'll be passing through. Quite exciting. So the first stop is the US border, only about 10 minutes from here. Only one lane open? Lord, I sure hope they plan on changing that. The border is a hit or miss. Sometimes it's very long, sometimes it's very quick. Let's hope it speeds up. Usually when the line gets backed up like this, they know to open another lane or two, so that should cut our waiting times quite a bit. Otherwise, let's see. Current wait is only 5 minutes. Not so sure about that. We have 3 or 4 lanes open. What a miracle. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Could you pull forward just a little bit more for me, and then roll down that back window?
You got it.
Alright, where are you headed today?
So I'm headed all the way to Ottawa, Ontario. So I'm going to be in the States until Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Then I'll be crossing into Ontario, back into Canada. It'll be about 4 days I plan to be in the States.
Okay, alright. What are you bringing over with you for your trip?
So I've got some food that my mom made for me for the road. I've got my personal clothes and stuff for I guess week's worth of travel supplies.
Okay.
Big winter jacket, and I guess, what do we have in the back? We have the Tesla charger. Not much in the back. Pretty empty car.
Okay, alright. Alright, there you are.
Thank you.
Safe
Have a good
travels,
day.
okay?
I'm not gonna lie, there is a stereotype in my head. Okay, stereotypes are earned. Last time I had a blonde female border guard, it was not a great experience. But this time, no complaints. She was awesome. Alright, well, we're in Washington. Good old Blaine, Washington, the start of every adventure. The bright lights. Onwards, all the way to Montana tonight. Not only is the sun out, which is rare for the winter in the Pacific Northwest, but I've never seen such a bright sun in my life. I'm in sunglasses and I feel like I'm getting holes burned through my retinas. Well, this is honestly a great start to the journey. Sun, this screams hope and optimism out here in the Pacific Northwest. All the way to Ontario from British Columbia, you'd think the Trans-Canada Highway is the one to take. Highway 1 going across the whole Canada. This time of year, end of December, beginning of January, the weather gets quite hectic out there in the prairies and the Rocky Mountains. This route goes down to Seattle, so that's where we're headed right now. And then through Seattle, we're going through the, I guess, Midwest, whatever they call it, American prairies, and then crossing back into Ontario. And the reason for that is, A, it's quicker somehow. I don't know, Google just sends you there automatically if you type in the route. But at the same time, it's way safer in the winter. The climbs are not nearly as elevation and lower temperatures. So that is one great thing. Something to keep in mind: driving through the Rockies, the mountains in winter, it's no joke. They made a whole show about this, the Coquihalla Highway, or the Alaska Dalton Highway, rescuing truckers. It gets pretty hectic out there as soon as you get off the coast in the winter. But we're taking a calm route. I think Washington State requires you to pack winter chains, but we don't have winter chains. Let's see how that goes. I think worst case, if something happens, there are more than enough truckers that'll advise what to do and know exactly how to handle everything. But also, I'm keeping my eye on the forecast, and today's supposed to be fully sunny. So the worst part is going to be the Lookout Pass bordering Idaho into Montana, and that's going to be today, and that's the highest elevation for our whole drive. So as long as we luck out over there, we're good for the rest of the drive. There's also Snoqualmie Pass today in Washington, but that one's not nearly as high. Anyway, all should be good, and the weather really is looking optimistic so far. Burlington, Washington, the first supercharging stop, and the Starbucks coffee conveniently across the street. How great is that? The trip only just started, but I cannot resist a cup of coffee. Extra large size. This should get me to the next state. I forget which one that is. I think Idaho. Alright. Extra large. Real American size, this. Every time I'm in America, it reminds me of this one specific meme. I'll put it on the screen for this video. But I feel like an alien here. I'm looking for normal cream and everything's non-dairy creamer. So strange. But hey, I'm sure it'll taste decent enough. Come on, guys. It's like, am I the only one who likes milk and cream and organic, real, natural food instead of slop made in a factory? This is my biggest gripe with America. I quite enjoy this country, actually. But the food is really something. I gotta be careful. As somebody, I have a easily upset stomach. That's something you'll know if you watch any of my vlogs. I always have an upset stomach. And this is especially a country where I gotta be careful because there's so much junk out there. Especially if you're trying to save money, because it's expensive to eat here too. If you don't want to overpay for everything, you're probably gonna be stuck with upset stomach. Now, I'm not one of those people to die on the hill of obsession with electric cars. I like electric cars, but I also like gas cars. I don't choose one side or another, but one thing I absolutely love about Tesla is that when you're in the US or another foreign country, it converts the measurement to kilometers per hour, which is pretty awesome. I do not have to sync to using miles per hour or trying to comprehend miles per hour. I feel good being here and using the true measurement system of the world. So when I said that this car being electric and having to stop to charge quite often is a bit of an inconvenience, I was gravely exaggerating, to be honest. It's not much of an inconvenience at all. Yeah, you have to stop, but the truth is, the car plans out the whole route for you. Stop where, charge how long, to what percent. So everything is really thought through on this car. I've done a good deal of road tripping on this specific car. I've gone all the way down to the Mexican border earlier this year and no issues. I mean, supercharging is quite pricey in the States, especially compared to British Columbia, but it's of course much better than a gas car still, or decently better. So yeah, no inconvenience at all. The only thing is, of course, yeah, you have to stop, but that's fine. Oh yeah, dear friends, express toll lane, pay by mail, begins now. Let me let you guys in on a little secret, especially if you're from BC. If you're driving a BC plated car, or any out of country plated car, I guess, in Seattle, in Washington, and you use the express toll lanes, they can't send you the bill. So we use the system for free. Though one day I'm gonna drive here confidently and they're gonna introduce a system where they do send us a bill and I'm gonna get bit in the ass. But for now we're good, guys. Feel free to use the toll lanes in Seattle to your heart's content. You guys have no idea how upset I am. I'm here in the express lane and I get the sign that says all lanes, toll lanes are free today, open to all, for whatever reason. That makes me upset. I was so keen on defrauding their system and it turns out it's okay. It would have been free anyway. I guess it's the holidays or something. Even Americans can be nice to their own sometimes. Alright, there it is. We're finally not going south anymore once we take this exit and we're going east. The Highway 90 for Spokane. When I was a kid, I read a book in my school days that took place in Spokane, Washington. It was about a First Nations, Aboriginal, Indigenous sort of kid living out there in Spokane on a reservation who was being bullied for being very ugly. So every time I hear the word Spokane, it makes me think of the super ugly kid. I've been there one time only, and it was bad weather. Let's see if this time changes my impression. We're still a bit of a ways away, but let's go. The mountains begin, and the lakes. It's beautiful. Now there is some snow on the top of that mountain, but not even the top. About halfway up the snow begins. And for us, ideally as little snow as possible, but the weather is really optimistic again, and they usually on these roads plow the snow right away, and you know they keep the roads salted. So either way, shouldn't be an issue. We have some good snow tires, but let's pray for good weather. The snow begins, y'all. There's not much of it, but we're getting up, going higher in elevation. The treetops are covered in snow, but the roads seem perfectly fine. 3 degrees outside, so we should be good. And I don't think we have that much more to climb. You know, I was just thinking, I said the snow's starting. Well, of course the snow is starting. It's a big realization that the West Coast has us so spoiled, because the entire continent pretty much is covered in snow, aside from the southern areas, of course. And the snow isn't really gonna stop. There's gonna be snow on the ground for the rest of our trip, as soon as you get off the coast, pretty much. We've been spoiled. We never get snow pretty much in Vancouver, in Seattle, on the coast. And out here in the mountains, in the prairies, higher altitude, cold, high minuses. I'm ready. Minus 13 tonight in the place where I'm supposed to sleep. Let's see how that goes. Haven't felt that kind of temperature in a while. Alright, well, our second stop of the day. I need to use the bathroom so bad. This American-sized coffee got me needing to go to the bathroom, all to say. Don't know what else to say, but here we are in a cute Washington town with tall trees and covered in fog, North Bend, Washington. I don't know if it's my first time here. I probably have been here before. Shit, every Tesla charger is not occupied. Let's turn around, let's plug in. I'm going to show you how the supercharger system works here. So very simple. The Tesla map takes you to the what's it called? You park backwards always. So here we are. Press the button and it magically, in theory, opens your charging port. If not, just bump it. Plug it in. Wait for it to go green. One day. There we go. And the car tells you exactly how long you need to charge to continue the trip. So we need to charge 20 more minutes to continue the trip. How many kilometers it charges per hour? So right now we're hovering just under 500. Around 500. Nice. And yeah, then we're on to Quincy, Washington, which is close to 2.5 hours away. That's our next charging stop. Let's go check out Starbucks or Popeyes, get a cheeky bathroom session in, because I can't do this anymore. One thing I do love about Starbucks, even if it's not their coffee, is the fact that whether you're in the most crappy, rundown ghetto town in California or some cute new prairie town in Alberta, the bathrooms are always nice, clean, private, standardized, and they've done that well. We'll skip the coffee. I prefer Teramo gas station coffee. Tastes very similar. And we'll head straight back to the car. Thank you.
Chris, have a good one.
You too. Happy New Year.
You too.
Am I in America or Canada? I can't believe this. Alright, maybe I've misjudged America a little bit. Cute town. Cute as in nice trees, nothing else. Look at the man-made abominations we've placed everywhere. Nothing's walkable. Is this the future? I hope not. So that was a total lie when I said we're not going to climb much further. Yeah, we climbed a bit further, and that's alright. We've passed Snoqualmie Pass. This is the second highest mountain pass of my drive, right behind the one in Montana, Idaho. And it's quite beautiful out here. Conditions are not too bad. There's some slush on the roads, but I mean, I've seen worse. The crazy thing is that I was used to driving like this back when I lived in Ontario. That was the norm for half the year. It's crazy how now all of a sudden it's an extreme driving situation. Not really, but a little bit. Definitely not the typical driving situation. But yeah, on the road, nothing to update. I want to be a good vlogger for you guys, but honestly, there's just not that much to show. The same sights over and over again. It's beautiful for sure, but nothing changes. But we'll keep you updated. Today's going to be my first time in the state of Montana. That's interesting. Looks like the prairies have begun, more or less. They're starting to. That's pretty nice. It's beautiful. The scenery has changed a lot since the last clip. And yeah, the real prairies have started. And I'm very excited. Haven't been out in the prairies in a little while now. It's beautiful. There's a special charm to it. And it's always sunny. That's a big benefit. Anyway, I'm again eagerly awaiting for the next bathroom stop, which is in 20 minutes in George, Washington. How to pull off in this scenic spot. Look at this place. It's like the Okanagan in BC, except not as nice. But look at it. Kind of reminds me of Nevada even. And look at these golden hills illuminated by the sun. It doesn't get better than this. There are worse piss spots in the world. You know, when I grew up in Ontario, and I hardly ever saw the rest of North America back then. But the first time I ever came out west, I was greeted by a landscape like this. And this is, you know, I mean, Canada looks just like this. We're just across the border, not too far. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I thought this is only in places like Arizona, you know, Mexico, Nevada, whatever. But no, there you go. Washington, the Okanagan in British Columbia, parts of Alberta, all look like this. And it's for somebody who was born in Europe, grew up in a forested sort of region, this is surreal to see. Not a tree in sight, just bushes, snakes, scorpions, and dry desert, really. Sagebrush all around. Sagebrush, I don't see any here actually, but it's a very fragrant sort of herb that grows in these regions. There's a special charm to it all when you come out to these places. It's very special. supercharging again in Sprague, Washington. I'm gonna try to catch some shut-eye. Didn't sleep too great last night, or too much at least. Slept great actually, just not a long time. So let's see if I can get a little 20-minute nap in to power us through all the way to Montana tonight. You know, as much as I want to be a napper, I'm not a napper. I closed my eyes for 5 minutes, tried to fall asleep. Even though I was driving, at some point I was like, if I like rest my head on the side of the car, I will fall asleep. I tried to fall asleep, it didn't work. So anyway, I'm still supercharging. I'm gonna go throw out some garbage, gonna grab a coffee at Subway, and I ended up calling a hostel in Montana. So my destination for tonight, I did tentatively put it as a hostel. It had 4.9 stars, and I always enjoy staying at hostels because you get to meet people and get to know a little bit more about the place that you're actually visiting. So it looks like we're on track to arrive there. I confirmed that I'm gonna be able to check in late if I arrive at 10 o'clock. I just need to reserve online and a bit in advance, and yeah, that's awesome. All the way in Montana. Never thought I'd be out there. Anyway, funny how life takes you sometimes. This place looks like amazing. Anyway, there's our Subway. I hope they serve coffee at Subway, and I hope it tastes a little different than American coffee usually does. Hello. Frozen coffee. Would you look at that? They always have some interesting stuff at the gas stations. Now that is... okay, that's pretty much the same size as I had last time. Nothing too crazy. What do we think? Should we go for a cappuccino? These are all sugary. I wonder which one is fresher. Actually, I'm gonna smell both coffees and see which one appeals to the nose more. Medium roast now. Dark roast it is. Extra large dark roast. Hope they have some fresh cream. Optimistic so far. Wait. Oh. They do. Half and half cream. That's great. Contains milk. That's a good sign. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Oh, sir, just this today, please.
Can it be on?
Yes, please. So what's this area called?
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
Really? Japan?
Japan,
Wow.
yeah.
I finally got to see Japan. Spokane.
Okay.
I see. Anything to see in Spokane that you can recommend?
Nothing. Right now you can see the snow.
Snow? Get snow every day.
Yeah. Which way are you heading? Where you live?
I live in Surrey, BC. You know,
Very busy, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Surrey and I'm headed
I go a
to...
lot there.
Sorry?
I go a lot.
You go a lot? Really?
Oh, yeah.
You like it?
Oh yeah. Surrey is good.
Surrey's a good place. What do you do in Surrey?
I have a lot of relatives there.
Nice, nice. I like Surrey. It's a good place, but I'm going all the way to Ontario, to Ottawa.
Toronto?
Ottawa and then Toronto.
Oh,
So
okay.
long drive for me.
Yeah.
It's a nice scenery. How unlikely is that? The guy working at the gas station in Tokyo, Washington. We're back in Tokyo. Love it, guys. He goes to Surrey often. Surrey is world famous. How about that? But the coffee was a great price. I can't complain about that. I mean, by US standards. Would have been cheaper in Canada, of course, but I'll take what I can get. Hello. You might be wondering, why am I even driving to Ontario? It's a 4 or 5 day drive. It's a 4-hour flight. And it's way cheaper to fly anyway. This car that I'm currently in has reached the end of its lifespan in North America. And as fate has it, this car is now destined for Ukraine, my home country. So I'm driving it to Toronto, and then from Toronto, this car is going to be shipped to Latvia and then live its life in Eastern Europe. And it's quite a contrast, I guess, this car being here in Washington on the Idaho border, Montana, all these cool places in North America, and then Eastern Europe. It's pretty crazy, but letting this car see the world, really, it's pretty crazy. So one thing I will say about the range of the car, the negative temperatures do seem to slightly drop the battery range. Not by a huge amount, but I would say it's slightly noticeable. Maybe 20%. I'm not sure if that's unrealistic, but I'm on average charging I'm charging to 69-70% at every supercharger stop, and I'm arriving with about 15% an hour and a half to 2 hours later. Seems to go down fairly quick. This is the standard range model, which tops out at 420 kilometers range, brand new. Performance is fully adequate because, to be honest, regardless, when you're road tripping, you're stopping either to use the bathroom, to get a coffee, to get some food, to see the scenery. Instead, here you stop at the supercharger. The charging doesn't last long at all. It's maybe 15-20 minutes, 25 minutes tops, and that's if there's a long stretch where you're not charging. And that's more than enough time. Honestly, that's a perfect amount of time to use the bathroom, to grab a coffee, maybe grab a small bite, rest up, and hit the road again. So honestly, electric cars for long drives, I don't see it as a minus. It works pretty well, to be honest. And I've also driven this car to Mexico at the beginning of this year, so I've had a bit of experience. First actual city in a while. It's been nothing but small towns, but Spokane seems to be like a real town. Look at this place, brick buildings and everything. Some history behind it too. Doesn't look too bad. Look at that, Spokane. Maybe we've got to make a trip out of Spokane someday. And it's has a backdrop of beautiful pink hills this time of day. Oh, look at that building, cool. There they are, look at that. How beautiful is that? Spectacular. You know what? Spokane looks like a refreshing sight after seeing nothing but fields for hundreds of kilometers, but I've got a closer look at some of the neighborhoods and houses near the highway. And don't get me wrong, there were some nice neighborhoods for sure. But the majority of the neighborhoods I saw were very rough. Like, rough, I mean it. Like junk cars in front of houses and graffiti all over houses and stuff like that. Junk everywhere. And it really gets me thinking, why are so many areas of America like this? Because it's people say poverty. Yeah, it's because people are in poverty and they can't afford to clean up their yard or whatever. But Washington, just looking at pure stats, makes more money than Canada, has lower cost of living in especially areas like this than Canada, and they pay less taxes than Canada. But never do you see an area like that in Canada. Not even close. And this is not to throw shade at the US or something for any Americans watching. I really do love a lot of things about the US, especially the story of what this country came from. But it's really sad to see this. I'm genuinely curious what's got these neighborhoods looking like this. Because it's not poverty, even though most people will tell you that it is. And there we are. We finally left Washington. It's a long state, and we're in Idaho. Haven't been here in a little while. So there's only a little stretch of Idaho. It's called the Panhandle, and that's the part of Idaho that we're going through. The actual thick meat of Idaho is down south, and we're not going to be going through that today. Gas is noticeably cheaper as soon as you cross the state line. $2.64 per gallon, and it was around $3.50 average maybe in Washington. So as soon as we're past the Panhandle in Idaho, not a long drive at all, we're in Montana. So we have one charge to do in 15 minutes here in Idaho, and then the next one's already in Montana. So we've stopped here in Idaho to supercharge, and it says stall 5Cs out of order. Pretty convenient. It's happened to me before where I stopped at the actual out of order stall, but this time we're at 2B. So lucky us, we're not at the out of service one. Now my question is, this town is called Coeur d'Alene. Who was Alene? And why was a random town in Idaho named after her? Her heart. Isn't that beautiful? Well, how romantic. Here, Alene, this is what your heart looks like. While the car's charging, I thought I'd be time efficient and go to the bathroom at one of these establishments here. After this, we're gonna hit a supermarket. I'm gonna show you the coolest supermarket in all of the US, with the exception of Aldi, of course. And I'm gonna show you why it's so cool. I don't know, I'm hyping it up to sound like it's something in the... It's just a nice supermarket, and the prices are good. You will see shortly, but for now, let's go track down a bathroom. These look like proper restaurants, and I feel bad coming in here to use just the bathroom, but that's alright. Gotta do what you Scooby-Dooby do. I'm here with a Tesla charger. I'm just wondering if it's possible to use the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, it's over.